Well, welcome to episode 206 of Silver Lining for Learning. This episode is talking about open education at scale, stories from the Open University of China. We're going to have Dr. Qi Li and Dr. Li Wei from the Open University of China talk about different initiatives that have taken place there. Dr. Li Wei is the associate researcher and serves as director of the Department of Learning Resources at the OpenU. She's Deputy Secretary General of the Scientific Research Institute Working Committee of the Chinese Association of Adult Education. You can read her bio on the web. Go to the website silverlineforlearning.org. Dr. Qi Li is my former advisee who graduated a few years ago and has now moved up the totem pole to become vice chair of the Department of English, Faculty of Foreign Languages at the Open U of China. She lectures in foreign languages, EFL, and teaches in the area and has done lots of great things with technologies there. I'm here along with my co-host today, Dr. Chris Dede from Harvard, Dr. Young Zhao from the University of Kansas and University of Melbourne, and Lydia Kao from the University of Toronto. Our co-hosts and I will wait and ask questions once the guests have shown us a little bit of data about the OpenU and OER, Open Educational Resources, and maybe even MOOCs and other kinds of things that they're working on. So I know Dr. Li Wei has a few things prepared, and Dr. Qi Li will as well. So Dr. Li Wei, would you like to start us off today?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to join you here and to give you a brief introduction about the Open University of China. I majored in comparative education, so I did a lot of research on the comparison of different open universities in the world. So according to our research, we found that the Open University is quite unique, I would say. I mean, in the higher education institutions, in the higher education systems in the whole world. I would say the Open University is a kind of new type university which dedicated to open and distance learning. And we calculated the numbers of the open university in the world, and there are more than, I think, 140 open universities around the world. And I have been to like UNISA, the Open University of UK, and STOU, and the Open University Malaysia, Tanzania. I think I've been to like more than 15 open universities in the world in the last 11 years. So I would say that we found that different construction models and they have different features, or we can say it's characteristics among the different open universities in the world. So let us talk about the Open University of China. It is founded in 1979, and the original name is the Central Radio and the Television University, and we renamed it the Open University. We renamed it to the Open University of China in the 2012. And we say that we have the mission of promoting lifelong learning for all, for the whole Chinese people, and to build a learning society and a learning power for the whole country. So we have now like nearly 5 million students in our university, and most of them are from, like we said, is central and western of China, which is underdeveloped areas in China. And we provide the academic education, non-academic training, and also we have the promotion of education for the elder people. And I would say we have such kind of the promotion mainly depend on us, mainly depend on the tuition fees, more than like 80% of the funding from our own tuitions. And because we have such big enrollment, so it is not a university, it is like a university system. We have one headquarters in Beijing, and also we have 44 provincial branches in different areas in China. Like in Shanghai, we have Shanghai branch. Like in Tianjin, we have Tianjin branch. Like in Zhejiang province, we have Zhejiang branch. There are 44 provincial branches. And also we have like more than 2,000 learning centers in the city level. Like in Zhejiang province, we have Hangzhou City Learning Center. So you can see it is quite big university systems in China. And that is why we can provide like the education for 5 million students. So according to the academic programs, we provide more than 200 academic programs, and there are more than 70 is undergraduate programs, and we also have like junior college programs, which is a little under the undergraduate programs. And also, as you can see, we have the last autumn semester, we have 4.7 million students in our academic programs. And as you can see, most of them are from like a different group. We have like industrial workers, disabled students, rural students. Their whole, I would say, it is everywhere. Our students is everywhere, and they can receive their education support from the learning centers all across China. And here, I would provide some data. I mean, for how we can see the impact of the OUC to the higher education systems in China, because we say we have almost like 10% if we talking about how big is or how important is the OUC in higher education systems in China. As you can see, we have a lot of very big, I would say, the higher education population in China, and 10% of the students who received the higher education population, they receive the degree from the OUC, and it is like 10% of the whole Chinese people who received the higher education population. So as you can see, it's really big. And for the higher education enrollment every year, like the last year, we also have we also like have the 9.9% of the higher education, the whole Chinese higher education enrollment in China. So it is very big university, and which plays very important, I would say, important roles in the human resources development for the China. And now it is a little, we have a little transforming, or I would say a little new chance of this university, the Open University of China. As I say that, like 1979, we have the radio and TV. We started the open education model. I mean, for the university, Chinese government set up such kind of the university to enlarge the education opportunities for the whole Chinese people. So it's from like 1979, and they renamed it to Open University in 2012. And now we call it the Seniors University of China, the same universities, and it's just started last year. And the Chinese government gave the mission of the Open University of China to promote the education for the elderly people. So we have the Seniors University of China, and we have a lot of funding, I mean, from such kind of the new model, I would say that, for our university. And now it is quite new. Actually, I think it's this week, not this week. I think it's like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, we will have a very important conference for the whole Chinese education development, and it will decide the development plan for the next 20 years. So that is the reason why the whole Chinese we say how Chinese people, Chinese government put a lot of effort to develop the digital education, the digitalization of education. So the Chinese government will set up new university, which is the Digital University of China. And it's going to be the new mission of our university. So as you can see, I would say there are more and more missions for our universities. And I wanted to have a very quick introduction about why. I mean, we have the new missions for the last 2 years. As you can see, our president, I mean, the whole China's president Xi Jinping says we will promote the digitalization of education and build a society and a country of learning where lifelong learning is pursued by all. And comes to be a strategic plan for the whole Chinese, I mean, for the whole China. It's not only in education, but also in everywhere. And if we look at the lifelong learning for all, why we put a lot of effort to the education for the elderly people, we are putting more and more emphasis on that because now China is getting to be the aging society and it goes very fast. So if we're talking about lifelong learning for all, it's not lifelong learning for the adults or for the childhood, but it's also for the old age. And this, I would say this chance, I mean, the needs for the elder people is quite obvious, like in Beijing, Shanghai, such big cities. And why we put a lot of emphasis on digitalization of education, because the Chinese government attaches great importance to development of digital education, and it is a part of digital China. It's not in the education part, but also in the commerce, in the some transportation, a lot of areas in the industry. Yeah, we put a lot of investment and make the strategic plan for the digitalization of all Chinese different aspect of the development. So how to manage to provide the quality digital education or the quality education for the elderly people. We have many ways, but according to my responsibility, I'm in charge of the development of OER, the quality assurance, quality resources for different needs of the group people. So for me, for our department, we are trying to build the learning resources for lifelong learning for all. So as you can see, for our department, we provide the resources for degree education, for the training, and also for the education for the aged people. So we are trying to be the major online platform education platform for in China, the major lifelong learning education platform for China, and also the flexible education platform for China, and also for cooperation platform for China. So it is a very hard task for us. Yeah.
So we're going to want to jump in with questions. And that was your last slide?
Yeah, it is my last slide. Thank you.
Okay, perfect timing. Before you do, before we go to Qi Li and have her introduce herself, I'll just say here we are on Silver Lining for Learning with breaking news. The Chinese government is creating a new entity, the Digital University of China. You heard it here first. first around the world. It's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. But no,
Yeah.
we got it. We got it live. We
Yes.
got breaking news here, breaking on this show once again. Come listen to Silver Line for Learning. You never know what you're going to find out. This is probably one of the biggest announcements ever because this is not a small entity, you know. I do have a clear, Qi, I hope, do you have any slides too? Or are you
I've
just going to
never heard of this
introduce yourself?
news before the
Oh, so it is breaking
podcast.
news.
Yeah, it was
Wow,
new to
okay.
me.
So I
I'm
just
so excited.
I have a clarification question for you, but Qi, you want to briefly introduce yourself before I ask any questions?
All right. Well, I think you did a pretty good job introducing me at the beginning of the podcast. Let me show you my slides quickly.
Just to
Can
spend a
you
minute
see
or
that?
two on these, Qi,
Yeah.
because we're gonna want to
Yeah.
get the
Hello,
questions. Okay.
everyone. My name is Qi Li. Thank you very much for inviting me on this podcast. It's a great pleasure. Um, uh, uh, Kurt already introduced me. I am vice chair of the Department of English School of Foreign Languages at the Open University of China. I'm also a lecturer of EFL courses. I teach EFL courses to both English and non-English majors at junior college and undergraduate levels. And my research focus on technology enhanced language teaching and learning, co-teacher education, and AI in open education.
So my question for you, Dr. Li Wei, and Qi as well, the chart or the visual you had up there, and you can stop your sharing if you want to, Qi. It
Yeah.
made it look like it's an evolution, but actually what I think you're saying is you're going to have three different entities. I may have need to correct the blog post, but I'm not sure if we need to correct the blog post because in the blog post it says there are 5 million or approximately 5 million learners at the Open U of China. In addition, it indicates there are 20 million elderly learners. Does that mean that they're currently enrolled or potential elderly learners? And are they separate from the 5 million? Is that a different population that you're dealing with on top of the 4.7 to 5 million learners? Now you're adding elderly learners who might be reskilling, upskilling, getting new hobbies or whatever. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes, I would say that you are right. The 20 million, the elder people, is not included in the 5 million adult people. They are enrolled in different programs. Like 5 million adult people, they are included in the degree education programs. They are looking forward for the higher education certificate, I would say that, or degrees. And for the elder people, there are 20 million, and they are already enrolled. It's not potential. They're already enrolled, and they are already learning the open, I would say, elderly education programs in the whole university systems. And not only the online programs, but also they do have some kind of the offline programs. They can go to the learning centers, and the learning centers and for the elderly people, and it's different. Some, I would say, half, like 50% of the learning centers, they hold the combination of like providing the support for the academic degree programs for the elder people. And they also hold such kind of the like classrooms. They are open to the elderly people. They can come, and we have the specialized teachers to teach their like paintings or singing, something like that. Yeah, they are not for the degree purpose. I mean, they are just for fun or for leisures. But also, sometimes we have such kind of the classes like to teach the elder people to use iPhone, to use a smartphone or something like that, and to a lot of I would say the Chinese elder people, they love to be immersed to the changing society of the China. So they would like to come to the classroom to meet with their friends to learn some new skills. I mean, for their like retired life, something like that. But also we have like 40% of the learning centers, they are separated from what we say the open university system. They are belongs to the community centers, I think I would say that. But they also provide such kind of the elderly people, the education programs for the elderly people. And we share the teachers. I would say we share the teachers. So that's why, because the aged people, I mean, in China, aged population is very big. So we need to use everything to provide the quality resources or quality learning opportunities for them.
Okay,
So
so
we
that
use everything for that. Yeah.
that answers a lot of questions in my head. But before I go to Chris's question, how long has the elderly component existed? When did that start?
I think for
It
Open
was
University of China, we started the elderly education component like in 5 years ago, but
Wow.
it becomes to be out, but only in our university. But I would say for the whole Chinese government, they have different ways to provide the education for the elder people, not only for, I mean, for our university.
Yeah,
We
but
like
you're
started
ramping up to 10 million within 5 years. That's a lot of people to quickly accumulate.
because most of
yeah.
them are registered in online
Right.
education. That's why we can have so many people in such small time. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris,
And
what are
also
your
we have
question?
the
Oh,
yeah,
go
can
ahead.
I just
Oh,
add
go ahead.
one sentence? Yes, I want to say we have the capacity to hold such large body of students is because we operate on a system, because we have like thousands of learning centers across the country.
Hmm.
So it's very easy for the students, both students for academic learnings and the senior students can access to our university and learn.
So, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. The facts are astounding. Before the show, we were talking about different experiences that each of us as hosts had had with the open education in China. And 10 years ago, I gave a keynote at a conference hosted by Shanghai Open University, which also has its roots in radio and television. And it was about open education. And I was asked as an expert in scaling up to talk about scaling up. And when I got there, I talked to the directors of Shanghai Open, and they talked about the millions of students that they were serving. And I said, wow, it sounds like you're already at scale. And they said, not in a country with over 1 billion people. And that's the staggering thing about scale when you start to talk about China or India, is that scale takes on a whole new dimension in terms of what's needed. I think that the roots of open education in television and radio, not just in China, but of course in everywhere in the world, distance education at one point was primarily radio and television, are part of the puzzle with all of this, because radio and television are passive media. You're listening, you're assimilating, you're not really able to interact. And MOOCs, too, were largely passive media coming out of sort of that heritage of distance education. But one of the things that happened during the pandemic, one of the big lessons learned, was that while assimilation at scale is useful, engagement at scale is really, really important. Because unless people are engaged, you get the loss of students that we see with MOOCs and a lot of other challenges in terms of teaching. So I'd love to hear, especially with thousands of learning centers, so you're really doing hybrid learning in many ways. What are the strategies you use for engaging students?
Who wants to go first?
Well, Dr. Li Wei, do you mind I go first?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed, Dr. Didi, we adopt a hybrid mode of teaching. So we have both online teaching and on-site teaching. We found that is a more effective way to engage students. Uh, and also because most of our students they have full-time job or part-time job. They are also adult learners. They have diverse learning needs. At the same time, they need individualized learning pace, right? So most of our on-site courses are held in the evenings or on weekends. And at the same time, we have like an integrated learning platform. We integrate we have like a online course interface, very similar to like a MOOC courses, but at the same time, we are incorporating a range of AI technologies into this platform. So on these platforms, students can also be automatically redirected to like an app on your phone or another software on your laptop to do other forms of practice. Take an example of my English course. For example, students want to practice their speaking skills. They will be directed to a oral practice app. So students will practice their oral English with an AI embedded on that form. So it's kind of more support to our students.
Yes, I would say that for the quality of our education provision, we have a Department of Quality Assurance department, and I would say they are making regulations. They are like the regularly monitoring of the online and offline teaching. They are getting the feedback from the students, no matter in what age. So that's a very important rule, I mean, for to make sure our quality of the teaching, no matter which is online or offline. Actually, next week, I will be one of the, we have some kind of, every semester, we have a team to, it's not a team, it's several teams. I mean, for the Department of Quality Assurance, we'll go to the different areas of our learning centers to see how they making their quality assurance for their teaching. So the next week I will go with our vice president to two learning centers in Zhejiang province to see that.
All right, thank you. Chris, just to let you know, 37 years ago, I taught at one of the OpenU University tutoring centers in a very remote area, 37 years ago. I taught English there. So that was one of the centers. Of course, at that time, they were only watching TV and listening to radio, and I was practically teaching them. Well, I didn't know much either, but anyways, that was good. So my question is this. I think OpenU is a great concept, but like the Chinese OpenU, I'm glad you're doing the senior like kind of universities. I don't know what's going to happen with the digital university. Yes, that's a good name for sure. But my question is really, what are you doing to deal with the competition? Because now we are in the age of artificial intelligence. We have so many like all kinds of education on on Chinese. Of course, Bilibili is not YouTube necessarily, or Douyin, TikTok. All universities can offer some courses, and at the same time, we're facing a huge problem of employment of even degrees. We have a tremendous credential inflation that is, we don't need all those degrees, all those. And so I was just wondering, what are you thinking about? Like, how are you going to say, okay, we will be special, we will be unique? Because I'm sure, from in the Chinese hierarchy, that hierarchy of credentials, I'm pretty sure, a degree from OpenU is not the same as a degree from Peking University. I'm sure it's
Sure.
100%,
Yeah.
right? So why do they want the degrees? And what are you planning to do? Because again, artificial intelligence is driving changes in this field as well. And I was surprised how many AI tools there are in China. Actually, I was really kind of amazed. So what are you thinking about in make yourself unique and special? Because of course, another problem in China is at this moment, we have a huge population, but that population is in decline, right? It's, so we're going to have more universities than students, more schools than students. So how are you framing yourself to thrive in the future? Or have you thought about that,
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Professor Zhao. Yes, first, I would say, according to my opinion, I also think that it will be more competitive for the next 10 or 20 years, because there are more and more universities will facing the problems of enrollment decrease. I think so, because of the population trends. Yeah. But if we do the comparison with the companies like, as you said, Douyin or Bilibili, something like that, we are university. We provide the formal education degree programs. But if we compared with the conventional universities, as you said, Peking University or Sichuan University, they also provide such kind of there are several, but many. Some of their education programs is now open to the whole society. The students can just choose to learn if they want. I would say, because according to our model is quite different. We are hybrid, yeah. We have online and offline. And according to our model, we think the students need to get the learning support and with the online learning, it need to be combined, I think. Not only for the online education, but sometimes they need to be together and to have the face-to-face and tuitions or not tutorings, sorry, something like for such kind of models will be better for the people to receive that, because most of our students are not located in Beijing. They are whole around China. They are in the valley, something village or something like that. They cannot to get the for support from the Sichuan University with the top universities support. They cannot. So I think our model is more efficient. I mean, if they want to get their education provision. And the last but very important is we have the government support. We are affiliated to the Ministry of Education. So that's why I think we always have the government policy support to help us to provide more and more to provide more and more quality education provisions for different needs for the Chinese society. Yeah.
Qi, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, and also, I think we can think of it a different way. To some extent, we are not like a direct competitors with each other. For example, with Bilibili and Weibo, we have a lot of collaborated program, we're working together with them. Like we put a lot of our course on their learning platform, because our learners are also like to use Bilibili, so they can use their platform to watch our course. So we kind of a partner. And also for Tsinghua University and like those high ranked, like top universities, we invite a lot of professors from those universities to give course to our students. So we also have like this kind of collaborative relationship with them. And also basically we target at like different group of students, because most students are enrolled in those like traditional, conventional universities in higher education have to be full-time. But our students, most of our students have full-time job or part-time job. So what the program our university provides is like a more flexible. We don't need them to be, you know, on campus all day from morning to night. So that will, for different group of students, I think, yeah.
Young, do you have a follow-up? So I'm kind of interested in the emotional side of things, not just the cognitive, not just the behavioral, but the emotional. We have people who listen to this podcast who are graduate students, who are Chinese and wanting to go back to China and get a job. Unlike many people, right, today, young people who are not getting jobs, there's big unemployment. With this huge growth in your university and the new universities for the elderly and for digital learning as well, this is a two-part question. How can they find out about job opportunities at the Open U of China and at the Open U for the elderly, or the University of Elderly and the Digital U of China? That's part one. And the second is, what's it like working there, given the number of people you're serving, given the impact that you're having within your country and in turn around the world? I mean, you go into a building just like all of us every day, and it's, is it ho-hum, or is there a different level of excitement that exists in working for a place that impacts millions and millions of people, and is going to impact more as new programs, initiatives, and universities are being ramped up? Personally, on a personal level, can you tell me how you feel about working for the Open U of China and how other people might get contacts there to get a job there?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Professor Kurt. I think I'm very excited to working in the OUC because I majored in education, and for my bachelor, master, and also PhD. So from a day back to my school time, I always put like to promote education development for everyone. I mean, for our country or for China. It's one of my, I think it's a dream or concept in my mind. So that's why I think going to find a job. Actually, when I get my PhD degree, I have the chance to go into Zhejiang University in China. It's a conventional and top universities in China to do research about lifelong learning, because I did my PhD thesis on OECD's lifelong learning policy studies. So I have that chance, but I did not choose that, because at that time I also get the invitation from the OUC. I know it is one of the biggest university in China, even in the world. And I know it is help people especially for promoting the education equity in China, because most of our students are adults and who did not receive their chance to get their to education, to promote their, or to have a better life. Most of them, they have the motivation to have a better life, and they want to upgrade their education like levels or certificates, something like that. So I think for me, the Open University of China is a really university who promote lifelong learning for all, for Chinese people, for ordinary Chinese people. So that's why I think when I choose to be a working staff in the OUC, I'm so proud of that, to be one of the person who can put emphasis on promoting lifelong learning for China, because I'm also working in the Ministry of Education, the Department of Adult Education for 1.5 years, from 2020 to 2019 to 2020. I've been working the MOE to making the policies. I think it is because I'm in the OUC. I have the chance to be included in the policy making for the whole Chinese people, how to promote lifelong learning. So I think it for me very proud of, and I'm so excited to put my, I would say, concept to be the real things to promote, to help people. Yeah.
You created the policies and then you implemented them. But what about someone who wants to get a job there? How do they go about it? Do they contact you?
Sure. If they want, they can also, they can contact me, or Dr. G, I think, because we are from different, if people want to do their research, do management, they can contact me. If they want to be a teacher in our university, they can contact G. Yeah, sure.
And Qi,
Welcome.
I know, yeah, great. And Qi, I know you had a little difficulty transitioning to China from Indiana, family commitments and kids and whatnot, and long distance commutes. And you just ended up at one of the, I would guess, one of the more favorable positions possible, you know? So things have worked out for you. You want to comment? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I really enjoy what I'm doing right now. I feel like working at the Open University of China is quite different from working at a traditional university in higher education, because we face a large body of students, even for one course, like for one of my EFL course, tens of thousands registered for my course one semester. Although I do not directly face those students on a daily basis, but we have like a teaching team. My main responsibility is to work with our teaching team to first we kind of develop all the learning resources, materials for this course. It's a teamwork. So from the teacher at the local branch, we know what our students need. So based on the students' needs, we add more to our learning resources that we are doing. And also, here I get to integrate a variety of technologies. In a traditional classroom, you don't need that many technologies, right? You just walk to the platform and you have a textbook in your hand and you start your lecture. But here we are doing distance education. We are doing online courses. So that gives me the opportunity to try different technologies. For example, we incorporated AI chatbot assistant in our online course. So when the real teacher is not available for students, the students can talk with the chatbot for answers. We also incorporated like writing evaluation system that will help us grading papers. So for this large number of students, the teachers maybe cannot manage that much assignments, right? So we can have the AI to help us. Well, I think that makes the huge difference from working at a normal university. I'm really excited about what I'm doing right now. I feel like I'm learning new things every day.
So Qi, before we go to Lydia's question, real quick answer to the hybrid class with the face-to-face component, is that optional or required?
I think it's optional. So the offline courses are provided by the teacher at the local branches. So they will offer certain amount of classes on their schedule. Some teacher will offer like 8 times a semester for the offline classes. In other times, students can learn by themselves using the online learning resources.
That answer is the same I got in Malaysia and I think in Indonesia as well, that they have these face-to-face meetups, but the students don't have to go. But it's a way for answer Chris's question for more engagement in the students if they feel like they need it and some additional support that might happen. So we should go to Lydia.
Thank you. Thank you for this incredible work that you're doing. I have a question about the learning for the teachers. So for a huge university like yours, I imagine you have lots and lots of teachers. You're probably constantly hiring new teachers. How do you do teacher professional development for these teachers and ensure they are also doing lifelong learning and constantly reinventing their own pedagogies to stay updated?
Okay, thank you, Professor Lydia. Yes, we have a lot of teachers for the whole university system. I'm just calculating how many. I think it's more than like 180,000, I think. I'm not sure about the data. Maybe she can add that. And for the teachers development, we have also a department of teacher education, and they hold the teaching programs, training programs for the teachers every year, every semester. I would say that they also provide online and offline 2 ways for the whole university teachers. They can choose. We have to do that. It's for us. It kind of like the needs. We have to finish that. It is one of our annual work. I would say that it will be one of our how to say every at the end of the year we need to report to the university how we did the teacher training and to how many programs we included in and for the next year, the plan for the next year, something like for everyone, we need to do that. Yeah. So Qi, yeah, maybe you want to add something?
And also, like my department, the Department of English, we hold like training programs every semester, at least 1 time per semester. There's a lot of things we offer to our teacher because like for English teachers in the whole system, I think we have like over 2,000 teachers. We have many things we need to, we need to communicate. We need to share. For example, in recent years, in the past 3 years, we've been doing this AI-supported smart English language education innovation project. We have integrated a lot of new technologies, but most of our teachers were familiar with technologies. So using the training programs, we have the teacher to develop the skills, the knowledge of in terms of how to use these technologies and how to use the right, the pedagogies to support their use of these kind of technologies. And we also like hold seminars for teachers to help a teacher do research, because we have um, you know um, intensive amount of learning data. We want to make use of those data. Teachers have those data. They don't know how to analyze that, how to, inform their teaching. We invite professors come here to give seminars and teach teachers how to analyze those data, and then, publish their papers.
So I think Chris wants to jump in with something. Chris?
So in my work as Associate Director for Research of the National AI Institute on Adult Learning and Online Education here, we look a lot at the kind of barriers that can exist to adults and seniors in terms of learning. And some of those are psychological. So in the US, we have a saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And sometimes adults will say that. They'll say, I went to school a long time ago. I've forgotten all that stuff. I just don't feel that I can learn anymore. And of course, none of those things are true. But adults typically went to school before there were concepts like growth mindset or self-efficacy. And I'm wondering if it may be a difference in cultures, but I wonder if you encounter some of these challenges in China, and if you have strategies you use to give adults the kind of self-confidence that they may need to go ahead and take a risk in learning.
Who wants to jump in on this one? Dr. Li
Okay.
Wei,
Well,
go
Yeah,
ahead.
maybe I can have a try. Yes. Yes, to teach for the adults or seniors is a hard job, I think so. I can say that. Yeah, I think first we have the culture difference, because in China, for the Chinese people, if they want to go and have the chances to receive education, they got some purpose, no matter to get a degree or to meet with friends or something like that. They have such kind of the motivation to finish that. So that is why I would say they want to make it better. I think that is the first one. The second one is how to make them to be confident or self-conscious. I think one thing that we are trying to do is to make the course or make the learning resources be easier, or not be how to say, be better for them to learn, I think. For example, we have a course like to making something like the story, theories or education philosophy, something like that. If we only teach from the textbooks one chapter by one chapter with the ordinary ways, they are losing their passions, I think so. So we put a lot of emphasis on learning design, on course design, to make the stories or cases, to have the interviews, something like that, to make them be, how to say, to make the course be better for them. They like the courses. I think we're trying to make the teaching design or course design, learning design, such kind of the things be better for the adult learning. That's why that is what our department is trying to do. And also we have publication company, something, all the learning materials we have very, I would say, detailed and sophisticated ways to make the design better for the adult learning. I think that's a second thing that we're trying to help the adults to learn better. Yeah. Qi, you want to add something? Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Didi's question just reminded me a few trips to local branches last semester. Because we plan to make a new English textbook for senior students. So last semester, we visited several local branches and we interviewed the senior students there. Well, to our surprise, they are really like passionate learners. You know, they have like bigger motivation, I think, than the young learners. They don't miss a single class there. So that's really like touched us, their passion for learning. And also I think they don't need to build their confidence. They are very confident. What they ask for us is like, do you have any opportunities for us to show what we have learned from your class? Do you have like a competition? Do you like kind of, any like program that we can, do something to show everybody what we have learned. We really need that platform, and also they they are good at using their phones. They'll show us their phones. Here's the new app I installed on our phone. To practice my oral English. That really surprised us. I think they are also learn very quick nowadays, the senior learners. But one thing I think their need is different from the normal students. What they ask is for like a bigger characters on their textbook because they their size. So they just put everything bigger on the textbook, and all online courses make the text bigger. That's the only thing they ask.
Chris, you unmuted. Did you want to say something before I comment? So I have a couple comments. We need to wrap this up and introduce the next show. We got a couple minutes. First of all, I want to thank the Open U of China for publishing my World is Open book and partnering with Beijing Normal to do so. Beijing Normal translated, you guys published it, so thank you for that. I want to also thank the precursor to Open U of China, China Radio and Television, because without radio and television universities, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I took correspondence and television courses from the University of Wisconsin to qualify and get into graduate school, and it changed my life, and in many ways. So, I just like MOOCs are changing people's lives, even though people drop out of them, people's lives are still changing in all these different ways, shapes, and forms that are out there. I also want the old dog, new tricks, Chris. I can definitely say that she felt like an old dog after she wrote a 400-page dissertation, right? I felt like an old dog after reading it. But I have a little clarification question, and we'll end this. We have 30 seconds. The Digital University of China, is that going to be a separate entity from the Open U of China, or is it evolving? We kind of answered it earlier, but I want to still clarify it. Are you going to get new staff to handle that? And by Digital University of China, that it's going to address a different population, or will it be global in nature because you'll be able to address the global learner? I mean, because it's not announced yet, but what do you know? I'm just curious. In 30 seconds or less.
Okay. I think it's combined. It's not separated. I mean, for the Open University of China. But we do have a specialized team to start the Digital University of China. And then I don't know whether I can say that because we are trying to buy new 3 big buildings for holding such kind of the university. Yeah.
3 new buildings. Well, I've been invited there in November. I'm not sure if I'm coming, but I'll try and stop by and see the groundbreaking anyhow. I want to thank you for being with us today and hearing the breaking news. And just to have both of you with us with your rich experiences at such a young age, each of you have made an impact that's something you're going to have substantive to talk about the rest of your lives, you know. And you'll be building on it in new ways. And maybe we'll need to bring you back in a couple of years to get an update. Lydia or Young, you want to say thank you as well before Chris introduces the next show? Okay.
Well, I'm excited to talk about our next show. The United States has 25 national artificial intelligence institutes. 5 of those are related to education. And 4 of the 5 will be in episodes on Silver Lining for Learning over the next couple months. And the first one, next Saturday at noon Eastern Time, is the Invite Institute, which stands for Inclusive Intelligent Technologies for Education. And the key word here is inclusive. So they look at factors that relate to academic success that are based on dispositions like persistence, academic resilience, the willingness to collaborate, and so on. And dispositions are a fascinating and understudied part of motivation, so I'm really excited about the show.